So, thank you very much for giving us your time, and congratulations on successfully landing Ibom Air in the soil of Akwa Ibom State. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
How do you feel about that success?
Well, I'm excited just like every Akwa Ibom is.
See, when we received news that the very next day we're going to have 2 aircraft land on our soil, we received it with mixed feeling. We're grateful, we're happy, and then questions also came to our minds. One of such is, why did the state government zero in their interest in aviation? Why did they choose to purchase airlines and get into the aviation business? Especially because history hasn't taught us that it's been all successful in other places, even in our land. Remember that Nigeria tried to, do the same thing, but it wasn't successful. So why did Akwa Ibom State government decide to do the airline business?
Well, what I'd like to say is that we shouldn't have fixation that because Nigeria couldn't do it, that Akwa Ibom State cannot do it. I believe in life. What makes different in any economy, in any society, is the quality of the leadership that they have. We are blessed in Akwa Ibom today to have a governor in the mold of His Excellency Governor Honourable, who is providing leadership, the right leadership, which has resulted in significant development and growth in every aspect of the state economy. Like I said earlier, the airline is part of the component of the entire concept of Victor Tai International Airport. And I'd like to say that this airline could not have come at a better time than now. And I thank God for giving us a visionary leader, a leader who has the capacity to do what he's doing. The airline, in the first place, is going to make it easier for people to come into Akwa Ibom State. It's going to increase the tourism potential of the state. It's also going to help our businessmen reduce their overhead and add to the bottom line. For example, today, as of today, if you have a business meeting in Abuja, for example, for 2 p.m. or 1 p.m., and the same in Lagos, it therefore means you have to spend 3 days for just a one-day meeting. The associated expenditure in terms of hotel accommodation and the rest of them will be completely eliminated, because with the schedule of Ibom, you'll be in a position to go for if you have the meeting tomorrow by 2 p.m., you'll be in a position to board a flight in the morning that will take you to Lagos and Abuja. And when you finish your meeting, you can come back the same day. You do not need to pay for hotel accommodation. I think this is a welcome development, and people who are also coming to Akwa Ibom State to do business, it will be much easier for them to come in and then go out, instead of having to spend 3 days in coming to have business meetings here. So I think the coming of that airline at this particular point in time is a welcome development that has been well received by all the good people of Akwa Ibom State.
Why now, just before the elections?
Well, everything that happens in life is by the grace of God. Like I said earlier, the processes for the establishment of the airline started as far back as 2016.
Okay.
So it's not something that you just go to Lagos and buy, like you're buying a car. There are a lot of processes that is involved. So it has happened that it has come now. It is not anybody's doing. This is when God wanted it to come, and it has come.
So this is purely God's making. It had nothing to do with influencing the voters to vote in favor of His Excellency at the coming elections.
The governor has done a lot in the state to deserve a second term. He has done a lot for acquiring people to vote for him for a second term.
Okay.
For example, in the last 3.5 years, His Excellency the Governor, he has attracted over 15 industries, offering employment opportunities to acquiring young men and women. And even that other aspect of some of our children who are in the universities or the polytechnic looking for opportunities for industrial attachment and the rest of them.
The reception of the news of this airline came with two feelings, like I said before. The other part is the questions that's raised. For example, we understand that aviation is expensive. It is very, very expensive. The running cost, the operational cost, aviation fuel. So the question is, how will Akwa Ibom sustain this business? Will it not be a flash in the pan?
I like to correct you. I use the airline because you have to separate. The airline is a limited liability company.
Okay.
Separate from Akwa Ibom State Government.
Okay, so give us the management plan for the Ibom Air.
Like I've told you earlier, the airline is going to be professionally run in line with the corporate governance guiding the operations of airlines and limited liability companies.
So who owns the airline?
It's 100% owned by Ibom State Government.
But it is run.
It's a limited liability company.
Okay.
You know, a limited liability company has an artificial personality that is different from the owners. Okay. So it has to be run professionally under code of conduct, code of corporate governance that guides the operation of these companies.
Now, when we look at the history of endeavors like the 21st Century Hospital, the Ibom, the Meridian, history doesn't really give us the faith that governments should run businesses, should be involved in this kind of endeavors. I mean, that history doesn't smell too well on us. So what are you doing differently to ensure that Ibom Air succeeds, that 2 years down the line, the plane doesn't just rest somewhere gathering dust, that is actually thriving and bringing income to the state? What are you doing differently? What strategy do you have in place?
What I like to tell you is that a lot of research work has been carried out regarding the aviation industry in Nigeria and even outside here. And the issues that lead to the successes and the issues leading to the failure have been noted, and corrective measures have been put in place to ensure that Ibom Airline is successful. And that is why, for example, we've found out one of the major problems is service delivery. And one of the airlines in the world that is good in service delivery is British Airways. And we have people, we recruit people from there to help us from day one set up a culture of good quality service delivery. And a lot of things have been put in place. And I don't want you to have a mindset to judge. Allow the airline to start operations and you see how it goes. But I strongly believe that the fact that Mr. B couldn't do a particular assignment, that Mr. A will not be able to do it. So let's allow the airline to operate, and then on the basis of the operations, you can now make your judgment.
Thank you very much. So the next question I would want you to help us address is the question of the overall strategy of the airports and the airline. Is it just for aesthetics, or do we have a future to look forward to? Do we have to think that someday close to us that the tourism sector of Akwa Ibom State will be developed such that we can attract visitors to Akwa Ibom? Do we even have enough passengers to fly this airline?
Well, I think the issue of passengers is not an issue that we should worry about, because this airline is coming at this particular point in time to fill the gap that has been created.
What gap is that?
Mind you, there was a time you have able contractors, having A, Dana A, APs, all coming to Akwa Ibom. And all these flights were fully booked and full passenger load each time they're flying out. But as I speak to you now, we have only one of the airlines that is operating. And a lot of our people have resorted to a situation that was in place before we had an airport, going through Calabar and Port Harcourt to board a flight to Lagos or Abuja.
Yes, sir.
Thereby exposing themselves to serious danger, given this bad state of our roads. But with this airline, it's going to provide an opportunity for people to be able to continue to fly to these places to do their business, and thereby reducing the risk that they face along the road to Port Harcourt or Calabar.
So there are chances that people who used to travel to Calabar and Port Harcourt to board planes there are chances they would come to Akwa Ibom.
The only reason why they go there is because there was no flight.
Okay.
Now that you have a flight, is it going to be economical for you to fuel your car and go to Port Harcourt when you have an airline
Here in New York?
in New York? So I think it is a welcome development for the traveling public. And in addition to that, recently His Excellency the Governor commissioned the road that is linking Akwa Ibom State with Abia State.
Yeah, Aruchukwu.
Yes. I want to tell you the distance between our airport and Aruchukwu is about 1 hour 30 minutes, or less than that.
Okay.
And the people from that community, they prefer to travel through our airport rather than going to other airport that you need to travel 3.5 hours to for the flight. So that is additional.
Okay, so it doesn't look like we are
opportunity.
just going to be banking on those that used to go to Calabar and those that used to go to Port Harcourt for passengers. Is there anything that will be happening in Akwa Ibom State to bring people to Akwa Ibom directly? Any hope of transforming our tourism sector? Anything that will be, is there something to look forward to? Some kind of carnival, some kind of beautiful sights to see? Is there something that is going to happen in the tourism industry? I mean, if we have the airport and we have the airline, there's got to be something bringing people just to Akwa Ibom to reside here. Should we look forward to something like that?
There are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of things that bring people to Akwa Ibom State.
Yes, sir.
As I told you earlier, as you speak today, we have over 15 industries operating in this state.
Okay.
That was not the case 3.5 years ago. And in terms of sporting activities, the national team, I think Akwa Ibom State, is home to the national team for major sporting, football competition.
Okay, sir.
And in the area of tourism, our Ministry of Culture and Tourism is doing a lot of activities that is bringing a lot of people into Akwa Ibom State.
So let's talk about the MRO. It was supposed to be, the master plan was to have the MRO in Uyo, in this airport, to be the only one in the Gulf of Guinea. Is it living up to that expectation?
Well, the MRO, substantial job or work has been done on the MRO. And as a result of the reduction in the revenue that is coming to Akwa Ibom State government, that there was not enough money for government to pursue that on its own. And given the level of work, which is about 75%, government is looking for investors to partner with to complete that MRO for use. And a lot of work has been put in, and significant progress has been made. And within a very short time, I'm quite sure that work will begin, and that the MRO solarity will be completed.
Okay, so one of the questions I keep seeing is, I actually spoke with some people on the streets before coming here. Did you hear about the Ibom Air? Do you like the idea? And I get something like, nice idea. Will I be able to fly it? I mean, so the question comes to mind. Again, this seems like something that is elitist. Only a few can afford to fly Ibom Air. What opportunities, what can the average Akwa Ibom person benefit from having the airport and having the airline Ibom Air? Is it possible that these and the ancillary facilities within it put food on the table of an ordinary man, so that even though that person doesn't have what it takes or cannot afford flying the air, the person can know that anyhow I am benefiting from this? What is in it for a regular and average Akwa Ibom person?
What I'd like to state here is that for a start, the airline will offer employment opportunities to people from Akwa Ibom State.
How many people do you? Okay.
Over 400 direct and indirect employment.
Over 400 persons.
These will put food on the table of a lot of families, and there are other spin-offs that also will come out as a result of the operation of the airline.
Spin-offs like? I'm looking forward to doing business. I'm actually listening to see where I can cash in on.
The airline will offer services like catering services. People will need to supply those things. So a lot of people will benefit from it.
Okay. So is this a viable project from you now? Is this viable or just another political statement? Should Akwa Ibom people believe in this endeavor? Should they trust it?
Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
I have told you, they say the taste of the pudding is in the
eating.
I won't want you to prejudge. We have, in this country, and even in any society, what makes the difference is the leadership. We are happy to have a governor who is showing leadership in every aspect of governance in this state. What I would like you to do, instead of prejudging and having a mindset, allow the airline to start operation and see how it is run. The fact that some other people couldn't do it doesn't mean that another person. We all carry different grace.
Oh, yeah.
So let us allow the airline to start operation.
Okay, just before we wrap it all up for today, we're almost close to doing that. The question I want to know is, how did this come about? Was it in the budget, or could we say this is just an extra budgetary expenditure? Because we're trying to remember what the governor promised. I don't know if this was in the budget also. How did we get here?
From the time the governor took a decision to embark on this project, provisions is made in the budget estimate on a yearly basis. So it's not an extra budgetary expenditure.
Okay.
It's provided for in the budget every year. So the state budget is handy. If you live here, you can go have a look at it. You'll see that adequate provisions were made for Ibom Airline.
Okay, sir.
Since the decision was taken.
So when can we all begin to fly Ibom Air?
Very soon.
How soon? That's vague. How soon? We're excited about it.
Well,
some people are waiting to be the first in it.
You know, the aviation industry is a critical industry.
Do we have the license to fly? Okay, sir.
The aviation industry is a critical industry where issues of safety cannot be compromised, and therefore you must follow due process before you can start operations.
Okay.
The first step, before now, would work closely with all the federal government agencies, and it is with the approvals that they have seen the aircraft on ground in the Akwa Ibom State. The next stage of the regulatory processes will be to go on inspection. It's what is called base inspection, where the regulators will go to the various places that we will be traveling to. Lagos, Abuja, Uyo, to look at our facilities in those locations. And when once they're satisfied, they will go on what is called proven flight. That means the regulators and the cabin crew of the airline will fly to the various destinations that we intend to fly. And upon the completion of that exercise, we will be issued with an AOC, A Operation Certificate. And from that on, the airline will not be authorized to carry passengers and start flying.
Thank you. So,
since that process is not within my control or the control of the airline,
so you cannot put a time limit to it?
I cannot put a time limit, but given the level of cooperation and support that the various federal government agencies in the aviation industry have shown, I have no doubt that this will be completed within the shortest possible time.
So people have been asking if they could get employment and how that can be possible. Is that open?
Well, the first time that adverts were put out there, people thought it was a scam. I believe that as the airline progresses, there will be more opportunities, but at every given point in time, there's an opportunity for employment.
And this will be made known to the public.
Advert is put out there, and people are encouraged to apply online.
So if I know you as the commissioner, is there a slot you have that I can take? Or?
I don't have any slot.
You don't have any slot?
There is no such slot.
If the governor doesn't have a slot for his people?
It does not. It's not. You don't cut corners.
Okay, sir.
In that industry, in this industry. So once you are good, you are good. If there's an advert, if you want to apply, if you meet the requirement, you apply for it.
So this is strictly on merit.
That maybe you need to take aptitude tests. You take the aptitude test. If you pass, you need to move to the next level. And if you are successful, you don't need any recommendation from anybody.
Thank you very much. And this is the part where I'd like you to just take your time and speak to our Akwa Ibom people.
We are very lucky to have a governor who is very passionate about the development of the state. Governor Dememando believes in Akwa Ibom State. He believes that Akwa Ibom people deserve the best. And he believes that our youth should not beg for a living. That instead, opportunities should be created for our youth to work to earn a living. And that is what he has done. Upon the assumption of office, he has embarked on various programs that involve the training of our youth in order for them to take advantage of the opportunities that will be created from the various industries that will be coming up in the state. And I'm happy today that with over 15 industries, a lot of our young men and women have been offered employment opportunities. A lot of families now have food on their table, courtesy of the industrialization program that has been embarked upon by His Excellency the Governor. And I want to say that I am proud to be from this state, a state that everywhere in the world knows that is very peaceful. We are enjoying a high level of peace in this state, courtesy of the enabling environment that His Excellency the Governor has provided. And I want to tell our Akwa Ibom people that we are very lucky that this governor in the last 3.5 years has performed very well. He has delivered on all his campaign promises that he made in 2015. I want Akwa Ibom people to continue to support His Excellency and ensure that on the day of the elections, that we all go out there to vote His Excellency Governor Emmanuel, so that he can continue with the good work that is being in Akwa Ibom State. And I'm very certain that by the end of his tenure in 2023, we would have all said that, yes, indeed, we did the right thing. I thank you all.